going on, guys? Pal in the shop, and tonight a 388 stroker. This is something you guys have been asking for. Not only is this big torque, we're talking 500 foot-pounds plus, but it runs on pump gas and also has enough vacuum to run power brakes. Let's check it out. Okay, so let's roll into this bad girl. So if you follow me and you see my videos, my last video I posted was a 355 that I downloaded with the same idea. I'm putting these combination together with emails and messages I get from you guys that are interested in building engines like this. This is not a race engine. This is not, this is definitely not a slouch of an engine, but this is what you guys are interested in building. The guys that still love this old, either cast iron heads, these old small block Chevys, and they want to build something for their, say, their Camaro, their Chevelle, or whatever. And the stroker kits are obviously always a good idea, but this is what happens when you go from, let's say, that 355 I posted in the last video. This is what happens when you go a little bit bigger engine. So we went from a 355, this is a 388, went to a little bit bigger camshaft and a higher flowing cylinder head. And we're going to see how much more power we can pick up with that. And obviously this thing made some serious torque. So let's take a quick look at what this thing looked like on the dyno, and let me show you how much power it made. So we ran this thing on the dyno with a Holley 750. This is kind of the carb I've been using on most stuff. On the dyno, just a regular HEI distributor, and those dyno headers, you can see that right on it. So what I like about the headers on that we use at the dyno there is they're not super extravagant, long tube, big headers that you'll often see at most dyno places that stick out way past the engine, that you would never be able to fit in a regular chassis, and it kind of gives you this unrealistic idea of what the headers should do. So those headers are very realistic. I mean, they're open, there's no exhaust on it or anything like that, other than it's vented outside, but it's not a super long header. So equipped like that, with the timing set at a max of, we found the best power on 36, 37 degrees. This bad girl made 470 horsepower at only 5,400 RPM and a stump pulling torque of 515 foot-pounds of torque at only 4,000 RPM. And I'm going to throw the graphs up here, and you can just see how it held that torque and made that power without revving this thing to the moon, which makes it really nice for longevity and not beating the crap out of the valvetrain. So turned out to be a pretty good little combination. Okay, now that we know how much power this bad girl made, let's go through and let me tell you what went into it. It's just real simple, and I'll start with the block. The block is just a GM 207 block, so that's 80 to 85 two-piece rear main steel block. It's got 4-bolt mains. It's bored 60 over, that's why it's a 388 stroker, not a 383. Same thing, except a 383 is just bored 30 over, this is bored 60 over. I'd recommend, if only going 30 over, if possible, just this block had to be bored 60 over, just the way it went. And if you go 60 over, make sure your machine shop does a sonic test for you, because some blocks don't like going that. You can get some thin spots. This block ended up being pretty decent, and we have no issues at 60 thou. So it's an Eagle rotating assembly. I'll throw the part number up for you. It's a factory balanced rotating assembly. One thing I don't like about that, it's not a big deal with this like lower RPM stuff, which again, this is nice, it makes this low RPM power, is that it uses a weighted balancer, like a 400 balancer, and a weighted flex plate. So the kit will actually come with this balancer and the flex plate. This is a non-SFI balancer. This is just your run-of-the-mill rotating assembly, but they work great for, like, again, this is not a race engine. This is for your average guy making, you're making 470 horsepower, but this is just a regular small block Chevy stuff. So it's just a flat top pistons, hyper pistons, cast crank, and the 5.7 Eagle rod. So just your basic stroker kit, and they're really the best bang for your buck. Okay, so the cylinder heads on this combination are a set of EQ 220cc cylinder heads, cast iron. You might have seen my video or seen me talk about these before. Great set of cylinder heads, but a little bit hard to find. So let me throw up the flow numbers and tell you a little bit about them so you can find a similar cylinder head to make obviously similar power to what we got going on. 202 intake valve, 1.6 exhaust valve, 220 cc intake runner with a 70 cc combustion chamber. Our total, our compression ratio with the 70 cc combustion chamber and our flat top piston with this stroker kit was 10.25 to 1. So the cylinder head here, like I said, they are hard to find. This is an older casting, very popular with circle track guys back in the day. EQ, our Pro top line, they kind of went under, but they're not available anymore. But buy the best cylinder head the budget allows, and especially when you're going up to a 383 or a 388 or larger. Get up to the 195cc intake runner or 220cc intake runner. It always seems to pay off. And when you see torque and horsepower, especially in lower RPM like this, when you see that big torque come in, it's always a good indication of a good working cylinder head. And in whatever that budget allows you, it kind of indicates how good of a cylinder head you can get. But you guys can see in the flow numbers that these are a pretty decent set of cylinder heads. And obviously, if the budget allows, or you can move into an aluminum cylinder head, if you wanted to bump up the compression a little bit with a 64cc chamber, and kind of play with it. But this will give you an idea how much power it makes, given the information that I'm giving with the flow numbers and what size cylinder heads we got going on here. So that's what you end up using, is those EQ 220cc cylinder heads. Alright, so the camshaft is an XR282 camshaft, and this is a camshaft that seems to be really popular with you guys, especially with 383s and stuff like that. You guys this seems to be kind of following into most guys' category of what they think of a camshaft that would work for them. It is a hydraulic roller camshaft. So I forgot to mention, not only does this thing run on pump gas, have enough vacuum to run power brakes, make 470 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque, but it's a hydraulic cam. So you don't even have to, you're not even adjusting valves. It's nice and quiet. Everyone's happy. So again, perfect for that street strip car that you're going to be driving around. You don't have to worry about adjusting anything. So this is that XR282 cam. The part number on that is 12-432-8. 282, 288 duration on the exhaust, 230, 236 at 50. It's a 110 lobe separation, installed at 106. I installed it straight up. I used 1.6 roller rockers with this cam. So it's advertised with a 1.5 obviously, but I used a 1.6 roller rocker from Comp Cam's aluminum roller rocker. It has, so with this rocker we have a lift of 544 on the intake and 555 on the exhaust with that 1.6 roller rocker. I used a set of Howard's push rods, 7.3 inch push rods, and that's because we used a hydraulic roller lifter in this thing. So you're gonna have to use a link bar style hydraulic roller lifter if you're fitting it into an older block like this. If you're using a later block, like a one-piece screw main seal block, you can get this cam with the provisions to run the step nose cam with the retaining plate. But in this indication, I used a retrofit. So I used a retrofit roller lifters, a cam button, and I used this milled-on timing cover with the built-in plate for reinforcement plate to keep everything from moving around. So 282 cam retrofit. And this is the kind of power you're going to get with that cam. So that being said, if you wanted to make a little bit more power and sacrifice a little bit of the bottom end torque, you could consider going up to the XR288 cam, which is also a cam that I get asked about a lot. I already had the 282 cam. I was going to use it on another project. I already had it, so I used it. But a 288 cam would also be another option for this particular setup with a decent cylinder head like this, with a 383 or a 388. But you got to remember, there's always like a little bit of a sacrifice. So going up to the 288 cam, you're gonna lose a little bit of vacuum, so maybe 1 or 2 inches of vacuum, and you're gonna lose a little bit of low end torque. Maybe not a lot. But what you are going to gain is you're going to gain top end power, and it's probably going to rev out 300 to 400 RPM more. So you're going to be pushing this thing closer to 6 grand before peak power. It also might not be a bad idea. It's going to bring that cranking compression down a little bit. It might help with a little bit if you're putting this in a heavy vehicle with fuel sensitivity. So going off that 288 cam, but this XR 282 cam obviously worked really good in this combination, and this is a perfect example of not over camming an engine. If anything, in my opinion, maybe slightly under cammed, but again, obviously 470 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque, more than enough power than most guys are making and most guys are looking for. So it worked out all right for us in this situation. All right, so the last thing I want to show you is this intake. This is a ProComp intake, part number PC22025. I bought this a while back online. They were having like a shortage of air gap intakes and stuff, and this one came up and it was actually a pretty good price, and it was polished, so I was like, it kind of looks cool. So I thought I would try it, and to my surprise, when I put it on the flow bench, this intake, air gap style, actually outflowed the Ftlbs air gap intake on the flow bench, and the averages were actually pretty good against the runners. Sometimes with these cheaper intakes, you'll find like a really weird spread between port to port on what they flow, but this thing actually flowed really well and actually outflowed the cylinder heads runner wise. So we were flowing like 300, they were all like upwards of 300 CFM per runner, which is pretty good. Don't quote me on that, I can't remember exactly, I have to check my sheets, but I know this intake actually outflowed the Ftlbs intake on average and peak flow. So runner to runner. So I was pretty happy with that. It's not a bad looking intake, it's not great. It has that polished look and stuff, but it doesn't really beat the quality of a Ftlbs intake. But as far as how it worked and how performed, overall pretty happy with it. So I would definitely buy this intake again, but if they're available and the price doesn't keep getting jacked up on the Ftlbs intake, obviously Ftlbs is always a good option. So there you go, guys. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video and checking out this 388 stroker. This is it for this engine. We can't do any more to this. This thing is sold. It's getting shipped off. It's actually going into like a Ford T-bucket, old school pickup hot rod thing. You know what? This thing's gonna be crazy. 470 horsepower, 515 foot-pounds of torque, and something that weighs 2,400 pounds and doesn't even have seat belts. The guy, he better be careful with this thing in there. But I think it's gonna be a cool little setup. So I gotta pack this thing up, put it on a crate, and it's getting shipped out. Hate to see these heads go. I think we could have used these and got a little bit more potential out of them. But just the way it goes, sometimes we can't hold on to everything. I had to sell some of this stuff because I do have something cool coming down the pipelines and that I will be making videos about, and you guys are gonna really like. Something I've been working hard towards to get. So look forward to seeing that. I won't tell you too much yet, but it is a car. It is another car, but and you guys are. I think you guys are gonna really like it. Some of you old school hot rodders. So if you have any questions or I forgot anything, please comment below, and I will try to get those shortly. If you're building a combination, let me know what you guys are building out there. Like I said, this is a popular cam guys are asking about, so hopefully if you guys are wondering, what kind of power and what kind of vacuum and stuff you guys are going to be getting with a cam like this, hopefully that answers some of your questions. Again, just a real basic combination, worked out really good. And I think the guy that's getting this thing is going to be really happy with it. So I appreciate your guys' support. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, please do. And I'll see you next time.